Hello and welcome back to the Fourth Down Focus podcast. I am joined by Kian, and as you can tell, we definitely are recording the two videos of the week in the same day, back to back as well. But we're here for our week 13 predictions now. I can't believe we're this far into the season
No, I
already.
know.
But as I said, we were in for our week 13 predictions. I think we'll go straight into it, unless you've got
Yeah,
anything
it
to
works
say
for me.
before we
No,
start.
I've not got anything to say apart from the fact that this first game kicks off in 25 minutes.
Yeah, so if you see a bit more. We'll start with the said game, and we're all going for the Lions. This is Max not here as well, but his predictions are still on the board. We're all going for the
Some
Lions to beat the
questionable
Packers.
ones. Some questionable ones too.
Yeah, there are some very questionable ones. I'd love to get Max's reasoning. I'm sure he'll have it in post edit like he did last time. But we've all gone for the Lions to beat the Packers, and I'll let you start, Kian.
To be honest with you, I'm not impressed with this Packers team at all. I've said it so many times this year. They're just, for me, not what we thought they were going to be. Again, this Lions team hasn't been the Lions that we know and some of us love. But look, it's Thanksgiving in Ford Field. It's a tradition. And the tradition for years was that we all sat around and watched the Lions suck, and that there was people eating their Thanksgiving dinner watching the Lions be shit. That tradition's flipped in the last few years. It's good to be easy to be said. Eberflus nearly beat them there last year, if not for a horrendous call from himself. But yeah, I think they'll win this game. I'm not sold on the Packers. If the Packers win this game, my view on them will flip a little bit. But they just haven't got enough for me. So yeah, give me the Lions, especially with Jameer Gibbs in the form he's in.
Yeah, I mean, I watched this Lions offense tear us to pieces in parts of our game, albeit they weren't like their defense wasn't great, but I think our offense is more exciting than the Packers' offense has ever been. So I am not sold on Jordan Love. I'm not sold on this Packers team. I said from the start of the year I didn't get the shouts for them to win the division at all. I said the Lions will, and I think this will be the Lions' first step in that direction to go win this division as per last year. And yeah, just for me, the overall better team. I mean, it's a concerns with the Lions' defense, but I don't think this Packers' offense is good enough to exploit them. So I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I hope for the entertainment value of myself and everyone else watching. But Jameer Gibbs in the form of his life. I think Amon-Ra as well. It's another big game from him last week. So again, not difficult against our defense, and this Packers defense is significantly better than ours. But I think this Packers have slightly too much for the. The Lions have too much for the Packers, so I'm going to go with the Lions. And I can only assume that was Max's reasoning behind this pick as well.
Yeah. Although, judging by some of his other ones, I don't think he
Well, yeah,
thought about
true.
his predictions this week.
No, neither do I. I said like your two predictions are so mental. I genuinely thought it was a piss take at me being last in the standings, and you're just it's like here you go, have a chance. It's funny enough, I made these prediction graphics and I sort of made them and it was like no one went edgy, and then I actually checked what you two said, and then I was like, oh right, no, you have gone edgy, right? Fair enough.
Yeah, I've
Uh,
gone very on one.
apparently, I'm edgy on this one.
I,
Um,
I wouldn't say edgy. Um, Again, I'm I'm big. I like traditions, right? And there's not many times you'll watch the Cowboys on Thanksgiving and they'll lose a game. Fair enough. This is a Chiefs team. We might actually see them lose. Maybe the Chiefs will win the Turducken this year as they get for winning this game. But I've been quite impressed with this Cowboys team over the last 2 weeks. Yes, they started badly against the Eagles, and obviously they only played the Raiders. But the offense seems to be clicking. Dak's been playing really well, and I think this game will be closer than on paper it should be. This is a Chiefs team who, okay, they've impressed sometimes, but they've been tragic in some games as well. They're very, for me, inconsistent this year. And this is a big moment in their season. If they win this game, we all think shit. This is going to be the Chiefs again. They're going to do it again. If they lose this game, they move to 6-6. And then suddenly you're sat at 6-6, and you're thinking they might miss out on the playoffs. So it's a huge game, and the Cowboys need to win as well. Look, they're theoretically on the same record without the tie, because I think the Cowboys probably had the better of the Packers in that game. So they're two pretty evenly matched teams. So yeah, I'm going to go for the Cowboys just because I can.
no, yeah, fuck the Cowboys. Look, I can't believe I was the only one to. I literally made this graphic all Chiefs and actually went and checked what you two predicted and change it. The Chiefs have to win. It's as simple as that. They have to win if they want to make the playoffs, realistically, because of how good some teams' records are in the AFC this season. So they have to win, and they will, in my opinion. I think they really will. The Cowboys, as much as they had a good week last week, have been shite for a while. I think everyone's sort of fallen into that trap of watching them against win one decent game and all of a sudden they're great again. Not convinced. They again they beat the Raiders, but again, does that even count?
No.
Lost to the Cardinals, lost to the Broncos, got 44 points off a Broncos offense that has been staler than fucking a packet of crisps that's been open for 3 months, mate. Fucking useless. And then again, they beat the Commanders, which again, does that even count? So, and then lost to the Panthers. So they're not very good, in my opinion. As I said, people will get gassed about it. There's no way to make the playoffs because their schedule's impossible, and the Eagles will win this division comfortably, regardless of what happened the other day. And yeah, just overall for me, I just don't see well whether the Cowboys walk in here and beat the Chiefs. I just don't see it. I know it's at AT&T, but
Jerry's World, I prefer to call it.
there's so much pressure on the Chiefs. Like, they have to win. And I think when this pressure is on them, this is when they tend to thrive. And, knowing when they have to win, they will go and get it done. And with a harder schedule coming up as well, they have to win this game. So yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs, which I thought was the common opinion, but apparently not. So
I'd say around the league, it probably is the common opinion.
Yeah, it's probably the betting odds common opinion as well.
Yeah.
Next up, the Ravens versus the Bengals. Obviously, we have the big news out of this game is Joe Burrow is back, as we touched on in our One Thing We Learned video. He is back for this game for the Bengals, for a team that desperately needs him, it's safe to say. But no T. Higgins, he is out with concussion. But Jamar Chase is back after his suspension.
Desperately needs him.
As far as they want to win a game, then yes.
I do not think, and this could come back to bite me. I love Joe Burrow. I think he's really a quarterback. However, in this system, if you've got an arm on you like Joe Flacco has, you'll throw touchdowns. I don't think it's that much of an upgrade, personally.
I disagree. Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow, and on his day is a top 5-6 quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion. He's so good, and I think this team, for some reason, just decided to play like not that tragic at points when Joe Burrow's probably thinking, what the fuck, where was this when I've been at quarterback? Just with the offensive line, like, how's Flacco not gone down? Like, unbelievable. But, they've lost, oh my God, they've lost every game bar one since week 2, where they were 2-0, and they've lost every game since. Basically, since Burrow went down, they've only won once, which is against the Steelers in the Young Bowl.
The Young Bowl, yeah.
So, apart from that, they've been diabolical. And, as I said, the mental thing is, with 3 wins on the board, they're still not technically out of the playoff hunt because that division is so bad. And obviously, playing the Ravens, you can go to 2 wins outside the top of this division with a win. So I'm very tempted to flip this. I really am. I think you look at Chase Brown. This is an opportunity for him to have another big game. He's been very, very good, like, under the radar.
He
good.
can fuck off because he was useless when he's on my fantasy team.
Yeah, guess who he's on now. But I think big chance for him. Chase back with Burrow is massive, massive news for the Bengals. That is the connection.
That wasn't clicking at the start of the year.
No, but I feel like
games.
I feel like he's going to have watched the tape and seen every game where they've thrown the ball to Jamar Chase a lot has been their best chances of winning games. Without T. Higgins as well, he is just going to get the ball.
Yeah, I don't know why I've not bet on him on his overs, to be honest. However, I do think the Ravens will win this game solely because they need to win this game.
Yeah, I don't know. I might come back to this later in the video. For now,
can we have our own bet? Joe Burrow over 1.5 quarters played.
You'll play the whole game.
I think he'll go down injured again, personally.
No, I think you'll be all right in this one. Ravens' defense hasn't been what it was, and Hamilton's down as well. So
he got injured by the fucking turf.
He did.
Last time.
I think the front 7 of the Ravens isn't great. It's a secondary where they get their praises. So I'm going with the Ravens for now, but I might come back to this later in the video, depending on how confident I am that you're going to be wrong on your edgy ones. If I flip this.
Nothing wrong on my edgy ones.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
Now. I'm going to start. I'm going to start because let me justify.
And I hate the Eagles, and I'm saying, what the fuck is this?
This is a Bears team. I realise I'm sort of doing the old Donald Trump hands here. This is a Bears team that, although great record, need to prove themselves to people like you, the doubters, the anarchists, just as Donald Trump, the anarchists. They need to prove themselves to people like you. And I don't think there's a better way to do it than to beat the reigning Super Bowl champions. And this isn't an Eagles team anywhere near the level of last year's. They blew a 21-point lead to the fucking Cowboys on Sunday. And I think the Bears have got the weapons to hurt them. I genuinely do. So yeah, I think this game will be close. Obviously, it wouldn't shock me if the Eagles won, but I can see why both me and Max have gone for the Bears, coupled with the fact that we just like the Bears. But yeah, Bears for me.
The Eagles are not losing 2 games in a row to the Cowboys and the Bears. They're not doing it. I hate the Eagles, and I would love it if the Bears won this game, right? And I want to be wrong. Like, I actively want to be wrong. I would love the Bears to win this game. However, they're not because they're overrated as fuck. It's another good team that they're going to play and they're going to lose to because they don't beat good teams. I don't see a world, to be honest. I really don't see a planet in how the Bears win this game. So I've not been convinced. Offensively, they're going to struggle heaps and bounds against this Eagles defense. The run defense will completely cancel out anything from DeAndre Swift, who's not been good as it was for the last few games. I think their pass defense was, bar like just a mental collapse, which just doesn't happen more than once in a season, really. Stuff like that just doesn't happen. Unless you're the Giants, in case it happens every week.
Every week.
For normal, competent, useful franchises, it doesn't happen more than once, especially not twice in a week. So, yeah, I really don't see a world where the Bears come in and win this game. The Eagles are going to be fuming after blowing that lead to a divisional rival. They're going to want to come back with vengeance. I think they could absolutely pummel the Bears if the Bears are not careful in this one. And I think as much as Killer's been dodging sacks, he's going to have a hard time dodging against this Eagles defense.
Just give me the Bears. Give me the Bears and move on.
I'm just grateful you're giving me a chance to catch up in the prediction standards.
Well, I don't think this is my worst prediction of the week, put it that way.
Well, I don't think it's definitely not the worst prediction made by anyone on this channel this week.
No. That's for sure.
Jags, and I'm going to start this one, right? Because I'm weirdly tempted to flip this one.
Don't.
I'm not going to, but if the Titans play like they did against the Seahawks, they will beat this Jags team, in my opinion. I really believe it. I'm not going to back it, obviously, because I really just can't afford another stupid, edgy prediction. However, the only other time I was convinced the Titans would win a game, they did. So, I don't know. But I feel like in the position they're in, they're smart not to win. But the Jags, again, they've been all right, but against the Cardinals, they only won because the Cardinals just beat themselves rather than the Jags beat them. And, they had a good game against the Chargers, absolutely. So, it's a safe pick to go with the Jags, but the Titans weren't bad against the Seahawks. They really weren't. But again, I just don't know if that's something they can consistently keep up. For a team that's 1-10, they obviously haven't been able to do it all season very often. So I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't. And I feel like I say this every week, and it happened last week again. Every time I want to flip and I don't, it's always wrong to not flip. And this will happen again, but I can't afford to do an edgy one. So I'm going to stick with the Jags. But don't be surprised if the Titans come out and win this game, because I really don't think it'll be as surprising as people think.
Be surprised. I'd be very surprised. Me personally, I think the Jaguars have got the quality there. The Chargers game proved that for me. And the link up with Jacoby Myers has now started to come to fruition a little bit. He's had a pretty poor year, Myers. He was pretty poor for us before he left. And then he sort of came and it wasn't right. But now it seems to sort of be working. They seem to be clicking. And I just don't really rate this Titans team. I realise that's not an outrageous speech when they're 1-10. But I also don't see what benefit them winning this game gives them.
There is no benefit. But teams that are bad tend to do the worst things that possible for their franchise when they are bad, and this would be the worst thing that they could possibly do.
The Jags need to win this game because they need to try and win that division if they can. And they could. They very well could, but they need to win out. So this is a game they can't afford to lose, and I don't think they will. I think they've got enough to beat this Titans team, to be honest with you.
They've absolutely got enough. I'm just not. I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans did the upset here, because if looking at all these games, if anyone's going to do a big upset, I think it would be this game.
I'm also not 100% sure that the Titans will perform how they did on Sunday again.
No, that's my worry. I don't think they can recreate that.
No.
Because unfortunately, the one game they played really well was the game against the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah. Unfortunately for them, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, we've all gone with the Jags.
I'd like them to win because I want the first overall pick, but I don't think they will.
Well, yeah, same. I think we would actually have the first overall pick had they. Which would be a lovely position to be in as a franchise with your franchise quarterback and the first overall pick. That would be.
We were fourth, but
someone would give us an absolute fortune to take that pick off of our hands.
Our strength of schedule is really, really, really fucking strong. Sadly.
Yeah.
So we're down to fifth now, I believe, but we can climb it.
Is it strength of schedule? The harder it is, the higher up the draft board you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so ours is going to be the highest in the league because our
Yeah, because
schedule.
their thinking is if you're shit but you're losing to shit teams, then you're worse than a shit team losing to good team.
Yeah,
Makes sense, but
our schedule is very hard. So
I think
again,
ours is worse. I believe ours is actually worse. I'll carry on talking. I'll have a quick look.
actually, I swear it was ours. Especially now
No,
that
but it
the Patriots
changes.
for us was supposed to be an easy game, and obviously
It
it's not.
obviously it changes throughout the league, throughout the year. Sorry, based on teams winning, teams losing.
I mean, we've played the Commanders, Cowboys, Chiefs, Chargers, Saints, Eagles, Broncos, Eagles, 49ers, Bears, Packers,
Ours is
Lions.
stronger. Ours is stronger. Yours is 0.548. Ours is 0.558.
I suppose because the rest of the season we've got Patriots, Commanders, Vikings, Raiders, and
Yeah,
Cowboys, which are all fairly all right. We've had an awful stretch. We're going to win
we're
ourselves
on
up a good pick as we always do anyway.
we're on a 5 game losing streak. Fun fact.
What the fuck are we on?
6.
Oh, there we go. Hey, 'cause we beat the Eagles and Chargers. For some reason that happened. We beat the Eagles on Thursday night in MetLife. Ridiculous scenes.
Yeah, that was strange.
Next, fuck me.
I
I
can't
wish
believe he's gone from.
I wish I was here. In
I can't
fairness,
believe.
right, I'm going to say this. I can sort of understand it based on I watched this 49ers team play on Monday Night Football, and they were tragic. Especially Brock Purdy's behind centre. Myles Garrett's going to have a fucking field day with that bloke. But, I mean, this Niners team, as much as this Browns defense is good, I don't see a world where Christian McCaffrey is shut down by any defense, like, significantly. I know he's had a couple of bad games, but it was more like him having a bad day rather than him being clamped by a defense. Like, I just don't see a world where the Browns. I mean, Max has done it because they finally won a game against the Raiders, which shouldn't even count.
Exactly. As
Um,
I said to you before we started recording, every team that beats the Raiders says their system has started working. It hasn't. We're just shit. And like you said, obviously with McCaffrey, they didn't actually do very well at holding Genty. He went
no,
for over 100 yards, not on the ground, but like obviously all-purpose yards in the game. When
look
you
who they're
think
playing against.
back to the Monday night before that, when he had 7 yards, 7 all-purpose yards in the entire game, that's bad for a team who are supposedly one of the better defenses in the league. And
Yeah,
McCaffrey is a better player than Ashton Genty.
yeah. If they
So
struggle to shut down a dual threat like receiving and rushing quarterback on the Raiders, they're going to have
then
a horrible problem trying to defend Christian
against the
McCaffrey.
best one in the league.
The best one in the entire league. So yeah, I don't see. I sort of see his reasoning in a way for the first time with the Browns pick. I sort of understand why, but I think he just thinks they could win 3 games in a row because they have the Titans after this as well. But I don't know why you'd want to win games as a Browns fan anyway, because as
Well,
much as I've said it before
he's
in
very,
videos, Shador
he's,
Sanders isn't your answer. As much as you may
he's
believe it,
very
your Lord and Savior because he threw a 66-yard check down to Dylan Sampson.
he
He's not.
was he was last year as well. He's very anti-tank.
Yeah, he's very.
And I
I don't
don't
know
get
why.
it. I like tanking.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we tanked and then got our quarterback at pick 26 anyway. So I suppose if you look at it like that, then it's whatever. But yeah, for me, I'm just not sold on the Browns winning this game at all. And I think the Niners, if they play slightly less stupid than they did against the Panthers on Monday night, which still won anyway, I think this Niners team might be the worst playoff team we've ever seen.
Yeah.
If they get into the playoffs, then fuck me. I've said about the Bears and the Colts and the Patriots like overperforming because of their records. But if these lot get in, then fucking hell. It's an absolute tragedy because
Yeah, something's gone
they are
seriously
not
wrong.
a good football team, but their schedule was the easiest in the NFL going into the year. And so that's why they're so.
It's proven to be as well.
Well, yeah, because you've got Mac Jones looking like Tom Brady at times. Just ridiculous. But next, we've got the Colts, and I've just seen before we started recording that Daniel Jones has a fractured fibula, but is going to play through it for the time, or try to anyway. Obviously, a fibula seems that sounds more like a should be out on IR rather than should be carrying on to play games. But I suppose it's Anthony Richardson season again.
No.
But I'm going with the Texans. And look, again, it could be reactionary to them beating the Bills, but this Texans defense has time and time again proved it's arguably one of the best units in the entire NFL this year. You know, it's another game. You know, limiting Josh Allen to 0 touchdowns is not easy at all.
No, of course not.
And I get like there's fluky games where teams have bad days and like bad teams play well. But this Texans team is sort of on the brink of being out of contention. But in this division, obviously, you know, this is a division that they play in with the Colts. If they beat the Colts, they move to within 2 games of the Colts. And all of a sudden you think, okay, maybe it's not quite over yet. Again, they basically have to win out to have a chance. And they have the Colts twice. So with the Cardinals and Raiders on the schedule as well, this Texans team could be a problem later in the year. And I think they win this game because the Colts have struggled against good defenses, and against another team that's not as good as they look. Daniel Jones playing injured. I mean, I've watched him play healthy for the Giants, and that was a sight to behold. Daniel Jones playing injured is someone who get sacked like 5 times, I believe, last week. They're gonna have a field day sacking him if he can't move. Like if he's just pocket passing all game because his fibula's gone, he's not going to take off on runs because he's going to, they're going to tell him, don't do that because you're going to fucking make it even worse. And then you will be out for time. And then if he is out for time, this Colts season is probably over because Anthony Richardson is not going to do anything with this offense. So fingers crossed he gets injured and the Colts season is over. But I just think this Texans defense has enough to sort of. Jonathan Taylor's struggled in the last couple of games against good defenses. I think this will be another game against, I believe it's the second best rushing defense in the league. So I think he'll struggle. And I think when it comes to that, you then rely on Daniel Jones to win you a game and you quickly realize that's not a good idea. So I don't know. I just think I actually do believe it, not even just through pure agenda. I do believe the Texans could win this game.
To me, the Jones injury sort of screams heavy workload on Jonathan Taylor. And if you give him enough touches, he will make something happen. I'm a firm believer in that. If you give him the ball enough, and he's also very good at catching the ball in open field. And if Jones can't run, then there's going to be a lot more checkdowns where he's the only option open. And Jonathan Taylor can make you miss. Jonathan Taylor can run through you. I think this Texans defense is good. Again, it wouldn't shock me if the Texans went and won this game, but the Colts need to win to keep themselves top of that division, and I think they will. I just think they've got enough. But like I've said, wouldn't surprise me. Is CJ Stroud back for this game?
I actually don't know. I haven't even checked.
Not that it really matters because Davis Mills has actually been fine.
Yeah,
the world's longest neck. But,
what I will say is, you said heavy usage on Jonathan Taylor, which I don't disagree. But in the games against the Chiefs and Steelers, he had 17 and 14 rushing carries, and neither game broke 60 yards.
But if you're given, he could get like a record amount of attempts here.
I don't know. I just feel like they won't change the game plan as much. Obviously, like the Falcons, when they absolutely just loaded him, he had 32 carries, and that's when he went absolutely nuclear. But again, the Falcons defense is a much different story to the Texans defense. But I think if they know that's the game plan, the Texans have been so good at stuffing the run. I think even with Jonathan Taylor, you might get one break play, but I think they're going to be able to limit him, and I think that will be the key to their game. If they can stop him, the ball that then forces Daniel Jones, who can't move. I can't imagine playing on a fractured fibula is anything comfortable for anyone.
No, probably not.
I'd be very surprised if he finishes the season on there. I get you obviously don't want him to not play, but at the same time, you've got to think if you placed him, just out for a couple of games and relied on Anthony Richardson or basically just Jonathan Taylor to get you into the playoffs, he could then be healthy for the playoffs rather than playing him now, and then he becomes injured for the playoffs if they got there.
I can see both sides of it.
Yeah, it's a difficult 100%. Decision, but I think if you shut down Jonathan Taylor, they win this game because they will not win the game with an injured Daniel Jones throwing 24/7 to basically his options, which haven't, again, receiving wise, especially against the Chiefs, they had a bad game passing the ball against the Chiefs. So I think I think they'll struggle, and I'm going to go with the Texans as a little upset, I guess. I suppose it would be an upset in the terms of what people think will happen.
I personally see a Colts win.
Yeah, we'll move on to. This would be. Yeah, this is extremely easy. And like I said, I'm a Rams fan for the rest of the year, so I probably will celebrate their games more than the Giants at this point. But yeah, we have the Rams against the Panthers. Pretty self-explanatory on this one, but we've all gone with the Rams, and to a team that just dominated the Bucs last week, I dread to think what Bryce Young is going to put on display after getting battered by a 49ers defense, which is basically half in hospital. Yeah,
to be honest with you, there's not really much for me to say here. Rams, very good. Panthers, very inconsistent. Inconsistency ain't going to get you very far against this Rams team. So I feel that's all I can really say about it. The Rams have just been far too good, and they're going to beat the Panthers. So, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much the same. This Rams team is unbelievable. It's the best team in the NFL by a country mile. You have the MVP. You have two unbelievable wide receiver options. Again, they spread the ball about so well, which makes them so hard to predict because you think Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, they still get heavy usage, but then you've got the tight ends, you've got Whittington, you've got all these random people. I can't remember who it was. I'm actually gonna look at this because some guy called I can't remember his name, but he had 2 catches out of nowhere last week. I've never heard of him in my entire life. Mumpfield,
my
Kanaka
sound
Mumpfield.
my sound isn't on. Sorry, I've got the Lions game on in the background. My sound
Yeah.
isn't on, but I swear this woman has elongated the American anthem longer than I've ever seen anyone do it in my life. She's been singing it for about 4 minutes. So if anyone took the over
Yeah.
on the national anthem, then you've won, because fuck me, she's really milking her moment.
But yeah, I mean, Colby Parkinson as well. He's been a revelation for the Rams at tight end. I think you team seeing that might struggle with tight end help, but him and Davis Allen have just been really good. What they've needed to be, they just get the crucial catches, first downs, and a lot of touchdowns to Colby Parkinson. If you notice, he had another one last week. But look, this team is so good, and I'd be very, very surprised if this result is not how we think it'll go. And that's pretty much all I have to say about this one.
Yeah, there's not really much else to be said.
Next, again, that's
to be honest with you, this Falcons team, as I said in one thing we've learned, what are they? It wouldn't shock me if they lost this game.
No, it really wouldn't.
I'm going based off individual quality, and in the individual quality department, this Falcons team is better than the Jets. I don't think that's insane to say. Yeah.
Look, Kurt looked a lot more comfortable in his game last week, and when you're playing against a Jets defense, which is going to basically put zero pressure on you the entire game, I think you'll be absolutely fine. Again, not that secondary does very good anymore because they traded away their only half decent corner, and a D line they traded away their only good D lineman. What was about the Jets, by the way, is I genuinely think Armor Membu might be one of the best selections in the entire draft. He has been brilliant for the Jets, and it's not going to show because obviously an offensive lineman he's against a quarterback he gets battered, but it's not his fault. He's been brilliant, and he was a superb pick for them. I think that's what the Raiders should have done with their pick rather than taking Ashton Jeanty.
I will still die on the Jeanty hill personally.
I just don't think you take a running back in the situation that you're in.
I don't disagree in that case, but at that time, he was generational coming out of college.
Yeah, I don't know.
His numbers are genuinely good behind that O-line.
Yeah, not awful. I just think bigger problem. But anyway, the Falcons are. Again, I don't know. I really can't.
No, I
can't call it anymore with this fucking team because every time they're never going to win that. Then they beat the Bills.
Yeah.
They're never going to win that. Or they're easily going to beat the Dolphins and they get thumped. So I just genuinely don't know what to tell you about this Falcons team. It's the hardest team to predict in any season we've done this podcast.
I'd say so.
Falcons team. I can't call it. Whether we surprised the Jets win,
the Panthers have proved quite difficult.
Yeah, them and the Panthers just pissing me off.
Yeah.
And shock or other in the same fucking division. They can but yeah, just Falcons.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I can't. Again, the Jets could win, wouldn't be surprised, but I think the Falcons are your best bet in this one. Personally, next, I want to flip, and the only reason I want to flip is because Baker Mayfield may not play this game, but I can't bank on it because it's not guaranteed. Because I did this before with the Ravens, and I banked on Lamar playing, and he didn't, and they lost. So I'm not going to do it. But if Baker is out, I always use this like a fucking. If he's out, can I have the Cardinals? But
no, that's not how this works.
That's not how it works, unfortunately. Because if he is out, I take the Cardinals 100%. Because this Bucs struggle absolutely nothing, awful offense, and the Cardinals' offense has actually been all right in the last few games, and I really do think they could do something against this Bucs defense, which is crap. I really think it's a secondary nightmare, and it has been for 3 years. For a coach in Bowles that's been so hyped up for his defensive prowess, they've been garbage in the secondary for many, many years. But yeah, I have to take the Bucs purely on Baker May play, and if he does, they will win this game.
I'm literally the same as you there. I'm sort of I don't really know how the predictions are going. I think you both gained a little bit of ground on me last week. But I believe that for me, if Baker plays, they'll win this game. So I'm sort of in a bit of a luxury position where I can predict on if people play. If he doesn't play, then they're in big trouble. I don't disagree with that at all. But yeah, give me the Bucs. I think if he plays, they'll win this game because that Arizona defense has been pretty poor. I feel like we're both doing a bit of a watch along here of the kick return.
Also, I've just seen they've got a holding penalty off their first play, off the kick returns, which is impressive.
You are a bit ahead of me, I believe. I've just seen the flag come in. Obviously, I'm watching on perfectly legal means.
I'm on Sky Go. Yeah, but for me, this Bucks team it's so hard to predict another team because they're just unpredictable at times. But I think I'll stick with it. But if and I say it now, and again, it'll come back when the Cardinals win. The Cardinals will win this game, in my opinion, if Baker Mayfield doesn't start for the Bucks.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair description of what could happen in this game.
Next up,
What
this
the
is the
fuck?
worst prediction. And again, he'll probably be right because for some reason, when everyone else on this podcast goes edgy, they're always right. And if I do it, I'm always wrong, right? So don't be surprised if this is the case. But Max has gone with the Saints to beat the Dolphins. Now, in my opinion, right, this Dolphins team, they're on a bit of a run. 3 wins out of the last 4 games. They're not going to be any chance of contending for playoffs in their division, right? Not a chance. Even if they win out, they probably still wouldn't make the playoffs. Because I believe they'd go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They don't have 10 wins. I don't know if that'd be enough. And they won't win out anyway. But I just think I just don't see a world where you can predict the Saints to win this game. The Dolphins have been so much better. The Saints, albeit they beat the Panthers.
Hilariously, you said they won't win out. They're playing the Saints, who I think they'll beat. The Jets, who I think they'll beat. The Steelers is tough, but they could win that. The Bengals defense gives everyone a chance. Okay, the Buccaneers and the Patriots is pretty tough, but
Patriots probably resting.
they could take a fucking like a 6-game win streak.
See, this is what I don't think it's like. What I will say is this is not a terrible, terrible football team. I think they've looked at it at times, but when your quarterback's having a rough year because he's probably got his head
every year,
it's always going to look worse than it is. Obviously, you lose your star wide receiver 1 as well, which doesn't help. But they have arguably one of the most talented running backs in the entire league in on H-Chain. They have Jalen Waddle, who's been brilliant since Tyreek went. I mean, he's always been good, but he's stepped up since Tyreek went down. And you've got a defense which has shown up at times, an offensive line that isn't awful. I really don't hate that show of the Dolphins potentially going on a run. And I think it'll carry on here. I really do. I just don't see a world where they win this game. They've been much better since that win against the Falcons. They've been they've been a different team, really. Beating the Bills as well was a huge statement in this league. And
I'm actually starting to quite like McDaniels as well.
I hate him, but
I'm starting to quite like him. I thought he was an arrogant prick, but he just seems to get funnier every week. He seems to be in a better mood now. They're playing well.
Some of the quotes I was hearing when they were on their run were just awful.
Yeah.
If Dave Ward said that, I'd want his head gone quicker than we did, because Jesus.
I think he was lucky to escape the sack when they was on their losing run. And now he's probably saved his job for another year. But like you say, I don't even think they're a terrible team. I actually don't think the Saints are as bad as we thought they were going to be.
No, they're not.
But they're not the same sort of quality. I think there's more quality on this Dolphins team to get it done. I think A-Chan alone is probably good enough to win this game. So, yeah, I think the Dolphins will beat them. But I actually wouldn't be shocked if Max's edgy prediction came true.
Neither would I, because apparently it only works for everyone else.
I hope it does, because then we move up in the draft order, because we're not going to win this week, which we'll get on to.
We'll move on to one. I would say 9 versus the Seahawks, but it's not, because he's faking concussion. So it's at the minute it's Max Brosmer against the Seahawks defense, and Jesus Christ, if it is Max Brosmer against the Seattle defense, the poor bloke is going to get massacred.
To be fair, his tape is fine, but
his tape looks fine. But you just a first start in the NFL, and you're going up against this defense. I would be shitting myself if I was Max Brosmer. I'd say, please, for the love of Christ, can you sign a quarterback before Sunday?
Don't play me.
Just don't let me play. But yeah, I can't see it personally. I think the Seahawks will have an absolute field day. I think Justin Jefferson will probably be happy if it was Max Brosmer than it is to be fucking JJ McCarthy, because at this point, I think I'd take myself over JJ McCarthy at quarterback. As I said in the What Thing We Live video, but did no one watch this guy's combine? Because I don't think he made a throw in the entire combine. It was terrible. And he's coming to the league. He had one good fourth quarter, and apart from that, he's been garbage. So safe to say they missed on that pick. It's all the Giants fans said we should have taken him in the late neighbours draft. Well done, you're fucking stupid. They're the same ones who said we should have took Shadur at 2.
I'm very glad that they picked before us in that draft. because otherwise I think he could have been a Raider. And I'm a bit annoyed that the Broncos picked after him. As much as I don't think Bo Nix is great, he's better than JJ McCarthy. But the hype was McCarthy over Nix. They'd probably have gone. I mean, actually, no, they wouldn't have. Peyton came out and said that he baited them into picking JJ McCarthy so he could have Bo Nix, which actually has ended up working out quite well for him. Yeah, I don't know. This game is going to be a bit of a massacre. This Vikings team have been tragic. And I think it's going to continue. This Seahawks team has been pretty good, apart from that game against the Rams. But that is the Rams. It's a whole different story. So, yeah, I think they'll win this game. And I genuinely think it'll be pretty comfortable as well.
Yeah, I just don't see a world, as you said. Like that draft, I think I remember being there on draft night, and I was sat there when like shaking with nerves as we went to make our pick, and I was going, "Please don't take JJ McCarthy, please." Don't take JJ. And I've celebrated more that we didn't take McCarthy rather than we did take Malik Neighbors at the time. I could not think of anything worse than if we took him.
We actually ended up in a pretty good position with Bowers in that draft, to be fair. But
yeah, you did. But yeah, just overall nightmare for Brosmer. If it is his first game, I feel really bad for the bloke.
yes,
He said his pick's not awful, but it's just not the game you want to start against the Seahawks. Next up, the Steelers versus the Bills. We're all going to go with
Jordan Love. Learn Chinese, buddy. What is that?
Have I missed something? That was that underthrow.
He didn't throw a pick. It was just the underthrow. That's horrific.
I saw that about 20 seconds ago. The Bills versus Steelers. And funny enough, this is a Bills team with 1 win in 3, which again is mental to say, but it's also a Steelers team with 1 win in 3. So if you're going to back any, but again, the Steelers in their last 3 games haven't been. They were tragic against the Chargers, but against the Bears, who I don't rate, so they should be winning them games. But also with Mason Rudolph at quarterback, I think this is only going one direction, and that's with Buffalo being back on winning terms.
Speaking of annoying teams to predict, Buffalo have been one of them teams this year, actually. Because every time they threaten to be back, it's just so over again.
So that's cycle meme. It's like we're so back. It's so
yeah. It's very much a case of they need to win. The Buffalo Bills need to win this game. And again, every justification I've had for them winning it this year is they've got the reigning MVP, and quality-wise, they're probably better. But it's just not showing. And it needs to start clicking. It needs to start clicking fast. So I think they'll win this game. I think if they win this, they start to maybe piece a bit of a run together. I don't know who they've got coming up. But this is where they need to start. They had to start in Texas last week. They lost. Now it's imperative they win this game. If they don't win this game, we genuinely start looking at a playoffs that hasn't got Josh Allen in it, hasn't got the Buffalo Bills in it, which for the last few years has been unheard of.
It is definitely that with their schedule, it's in that territory because they got the Bengals after this, fine, but then they have the Patriots, Browns, Eagles, and Jets as their last 4 games.
I think there's enough games they can win in there.
I agree.
If they win this one.
If they lose this game, it's trouble because they are the 7 seed at current moment, and the Steelers are 1 win behind them in 8. So they would. I don't know how it works. I think they would either be tied or they would lose a 7 seed temporarily to the Steelers if they were to lose this game. You've also got the Texans just behind, who I think could win this week, who could take it off them as well, and the Chiefs 1 win behind, who could take it off them as well. So they're in trouble if they lose this game. They have to win to keep that 7 seed tight and locked down. I just think the Bills, as you said, they've been an annoying team to predict. They're very difficult to call in certain games. Every game you think they're definitely going to win, they've lost at the Dolphins. And then you think, no, they're not going to win that. And they absolutely batter someone like the Chiefs. So, yeah, they will win. The Steelers have been better at times, but I think with Mason Rudolph on the center, they're just not going to win these type of games. I just don't believe it for 1 second. I don't know if Roger said he might play, so I don't know. But either way, I'm still going with the Bills in this one, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a safe pick, I think. But has it ever been safe with Buffalo this year? Not really.
They haven't been safe with anyone this year.
No, it's been a weird year.
Next up, this one's safe.
Well, I'm going to do a bit of a charger here. If we were a good team, then we might beat them. But the if men are going to beat us here because they just will. We're tragic. As I said in the one thing we learned, we're not a football team, we're a clothing brand. And that's going to continue here. It's at their stadium, which, to be fair, means it's home advantage for us because it's closer.
I don't know, man. With your fans as well.
It's closer to empty. It's closer to Oakland. It's actually when we play these other Rams, we usually get more home fans, more Raiders fans there than we do in our own stadium. So it'll probably be pretty packed out, full of our lot. The only issue is we're shit. So yeah, they'll win this game. I don't think greatly of the Chargers this year anyway, but they'll win this and they'll all think they're back, but they're not really. They're just they're still the if men, and they'll always be the if men.
Yeah, they're going to win.
In fact,
It's not. They're not going to because
I'll,
they're a good team.
I'll make a prediction here, and if I could bet on it, I would. But there's no way to bet on it because I would never win the money. The Chargers won't win a Super Bowl in my lifetime.
Don't hate it.
They won't. I don't. They've never won one. I don't think.
I don't hate it. No.
They're one of them teams to never win one.
Yeah.
You go through your reasoning. I'm going to find out if they've won one. They've not won one since I've been one.
Yeah. No, the Chargers just will win this game, and it's not because they're an amazing football team. It's because the Raiders are an absolutely terrible one. I just don't see a world where the Raiders can cause issues in this one. You know, they just got dominated by the Browns, who are crap. Like
The Chargers have never won a Super Bowl. They have only appeared in one. So
yeah, no, I just don't see a world where the Raiders can win this game. Don't see a world. Team's not good enough. Geno's going to be destroyed by this. Khalil Mack on Geno Smith's going to be a movie.
Here's hoping.
And yeah, just I don't know how Geno Smith's not been benched at this point.
Geno is a little prick. He keeps flipping off fans and saying stuff in press conferences. Honestly, if his knee exploded, I'd probably celebrate. I really hate the guy. He's probably my most hated Raiders quarterback ever, which is fucking good work. When we've had people like Garoppolo. But yeah,
is that the one you're going to focus on of all the Raiders quarterbacks?
Well, I actually quite like Derek Carr.
I mean, you had the most generational draft bust of all time.
Yeah, but I was not really watching back then.
True.
In my time watching, obviously it would probably be Jamarcus Russell top, but there is actually fans who watched it back then that think they hate Geno Smith more because he's not invested in the project at all. The sooner we get rid of him, the better. He's not going to bench him because it's his baby. But yeah, it's hopefully maybe a bit of a. I won't finish that sentence because I could get cancelled for that. But Raiders players and cars in Vegas don't go very well. So that's all I'll say.
Moving on. Oh Jesus! I mean, I'm not saying anything. I'm just going to let you speak.
I'll be honest. I don't think they'll win that game, but I'm sticking true to my word. I said a couple of weeks ago I'm never backing the Broncos again this year, and I'm going to stick to that. I don't think they're a great team. Everyone knows I don't think they're a great team, and I think
you're lying. By the way, you are going to back the Broncos.
I won't. I won't back them against us either.
You're playing them next week. There's no way you're backing yourself.
I won't back them. I will back ourselves solely because I said I would. At some stage, this Broncos team is going to lose to a team that on paper they should not lose to because they're not impressing me at all. And do I think it'll be this week? No. Of course I don't think they're going to lose to the Commanders. But I'm just throwing it in there because I can't bring myself to continuously back a team that bring me such fucking boredom and pain. How is this prime time, may I add?
Well, so Jameson Williams just got more looks in the first drive than he did all the game.
Yeah, I've just seen that ball float past him.
But that might be a fumble.
Brilliant. Cheers for that.
I don't think
I'm still looking at the fucking lineups.
It's an incompletion. You're all right. But yeah, look, I don't know what you're doing. You've lost your head. Your agenda's gone to your head, and you've backed the wrong team. The Commanders aren't winning this game. Bo Nick's gonna have a field day with this secondary because
he's never had a field day. Let me just put that out there.
Did you watch him? Did you watch him play against us?
He's never had a field day.
He has. He put 33 points on our head in one quarter, mate. He's had a field day.
Smith could have done that.
But yeah, look, the Broncos will win this game. The Commanders' secondary is diabolically bad, and Cortland Sutton's going to have an absolute master day. Like him and Troy Franklin, I believe, are the two easiest quarterback matchups in the entire NFL this week. So it's going to be a horrendous day for the Commanders, and the Broncos will win this game comfortably. And finally, yay! Why are we on fucking primetime again? Do you know what? I'm actually going to put this on. I'm very tempted to flip this.
Flip it. Go on.
Because I really don't know why. With Jackson Dart under center in this game, I think we could win.
I would personally rather have James Winston.
Yeah, you lost your head. But with Jackson Dart under center, even with Jameis, I still back us have a chance. But with the rushing upside of Dart, I genuinely, with how bad this Patriots team struggled at certain points, especially against like the Bengals last week, for example, where they just really struggled to get through a defense. Our defense is somehow better than the Bengals. So if they play like that, then we're slowly getting our secondary back to full health. We've been decimated by injuries this year on the defensive side of the ball. The secondary's been depleted. I mean, our shock horror, we have our sort of better game on the secondary when Deontay Banks was inactive. So hopefully he stays inactive and then never plays a game for the Giants and we get rid of him because I cannot stand that bloke. He is fucking useless. And I will forever live in pain knowing that like the players, I believe the 4 players taken before him were JSN, Say Flowers, Quentin Johnston, and someone else. Like 4 unbelievable receivers.
I mean, Quentin Johnston is not exactly unbelievable, to be fair.
Well, compared to Deontay Banks, he is. I'm unbelievable compared to fucking Deontay Banks, believe me. But I'm not going to because obviously it's stupid and I did this before and we lost. So I'm going to stick to my actual reasoning. The Patriots are 10-2. Obviously, we have opposite records. They're 10-2, we're 2-10. They should win. They probably need to just to keep their hunt for the 1 seed because I believe they need it if they want a chance in the playoffs because I don't think they're going to win anything later in the playoffs. So they'll need to play as little playoff games as possible if they want a chance. And so I think, but I wouldn't be surprised, put it this way, if we win because I have a weird feeling about this one.
Yeah, to be honest, I'd struggle to see why you're back on primetime. Firstly, maybe preseason this is a terrible, terrible pick for a primetime game. But I think you've probably got a chance. The Patriots haven't been great in terms of scoring points, but I think we'll lose this game. I think the Patriots will go and they'll beat you. Where is it?
It's in New England.
You're going to get done. I just think they've got enough. And they're winning games. Even though, they've struggled against the Bengals, still won that game. Struggled the week before, still won that game. The trend might carry on. They might struggle and win the game. But they're still winning games. And that, for me, that's a sign of a good team. So give me the Patriots.
My only reasoning is we've actually been quite good offensively in the games that we've lost. I mean, even against the Lions, we actually played really well on the offensive side of the ball with not a lot of
disagree.
So that's my only thinking as to why we might win this game. But I think I'm going to stick with the Patriots because it'd be stupid to go against it. But
I'd call that a smart decision.
Yeah, I just think we have a chance. I wouldn't be surprised, as I said. So again, I've said I'll flip and I don't. So let's wait till we actually somehow win this game. But Amon-Ra is injured on the floor, as I've just looked up.
He's not on my bet, so I can. Oh, he is on one of my bets, I think.
He is in mine. Yeah, don't know how he's got injured off a block.
Shit.
But that is all we have for you for this week. As me and Kian, we're going to watch the Thanksgiving football slate now.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Kian, for joining me as always, and we will see you all next week.
See you.